2, 1. Hello and welcome. My name is Desiree Shaw and I'm a psychotherapist, and I vlog on a podcast about mental health and men's mental health mainly, but mental health in general. So I am going to explain how we appraise things and the reasons why things may seem the way that they do for us. So everything is about perception. Okay, we perceive not just with our eyes, but emotionally perceive. We have inferences, we have ideas, and it's all based on really how we're feeling about ourselves. Okay, everything is linked to a belief, and that belief is linked to an actual experience, and then creates our internal appraisal system. And this is the reason why we see things. So we appraise events, we make them true based on how things have affected us in our lives. So when we walk into a situation, or we find ourselves in a situation and we start thinking about, how did I get here? Why does this always happen to me? And this is because of this. It's actually because of our perception, right? So I'm going to explain to you how it works. So if you watch my video, the ABC model, it explains how we're triggered. It starts with the event, okay? So something happens. All right, and when something happens, is a situation of some kind, I'm going to use the rubbish bin has gone missing. So you wake up in the morning, for example, and your rubbish bin has disappeared. The dustmen have came and they've taken your rubbish bin. Yeah, you know, the ones, they cost money if you don't have it. And, you know, this happened, you came home from work and your rubbish bin wasn't there. When you left, it was there. So we're going to take that as an isolated event. I'm going to explain to you how our interpretations see it. So we don't just see that our rubbish bin is gone. What this person in particular, let's say it's me, my interpretation, my internal appraisal has actually identified this as being a purposeful act done by my neighbour, because that's what people do. They are untrustworthy and they will betray you. And this is a complete act of something that my neighbour would do. This is all, I'm not actually saying this would actually happen. I actually have really nice neighbours. But what I'm talking about this from the point of view as being triggered into this particular interpretation, this particular appraisal. So I've decided it's my nasty neighbour, yeah? I've decided that it was because they want to upset me, or they want to steal information about me. They want to cost me in one way or another. I've decided it's because they're vicious. Yeah, I've decided, and I've ruminated, and I've gone into a whole thought process. Now this has triggered. This now has well, it has 3 effects on me. It has an emotional effect on me, a physical sensational physical sensation effect on me, and a behavioural effect on me. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Often the emotions trigger the bodily sensations and then come the behaviour. So my emotion would probably be anger. I feel a threat to my self-esteem, and I feel like I'm losing control and people are breaking my personal rules, which is really bugging me. Yeah, this is not for real, by the way. I am just using this as an example. And along with that anger, I am also anxious about the perceived threat. Are they going to get me? Oh my God, now I'm worrying. Yes, I'm angry and I'm worried. Yeah, this is where you're highly likely to lash out and do something unnecessary. So with those things going on in my physical being, the emotions and the physical sensations, what is my behaviour? So my behaviour is either to worry. Yeah, okay, so I'm actually going to worry. I might get really anxious about my information. I might get really anxious about people watching me. I might want to start a fight with my neighbour. Yes, I might want to march down there and go, "Oi, you thief, horrible person!" And I might want to watch them, or I might want to get them back, seek revenge, because anger triggers you to want to seek revenge. So I might actually want to go and steal their bin or take something from them. Yeah, and feel justified by doing it. So let's have a look. We've got to go way back, because actually it might not have been my neighbour. Let's just be honest here. It might not have been. So what how did I get here? So I've left for work, I put my rubbish out. Normally I've been living in the same place for the last 20 years, for example. This has never happened before. I don't really participate with my neighbours, don't really know them, and I've come home today and it's gone. And it's not a typical Wednesday when the rubbish is put out and what have you. And where did this come from? So it goes a bit further back. So there's been an experience in my life at some point, and that experience has been a history of being harassed by my neighbours. So my neighbours have actually been quite horrible people. So I'm used to my neighbours being quite scary and quite nasty and quite vicious. And I've also had issues with betrayal of relationships, and people have often betrayed me or, done nasty things, and I didn't see it coming. All right. And that has triggered me as well to feel quite paranoid about other people. So that experience has helped shape a particular belief. Okay, from that experience I have learned certain things about myself. I've learned that I mustn't lose control, things mustn't go wrong, do you know what I mean, and that I mustn't trust people, yeah, and that people are out there to hurt me, okay, and I mustn't get hurt. And because of all of this event and this internal appraisal system, it actually boils down to this one core irrational belief which has me acting out and has me lashing out. Yeah, so that is how an internal appraisal system works. It's based on no actual evidence, but the evidence that we create based on our historical past, the history, the way in which we interpret situations. Yeah, that's based on some level of trauma and an experience which has helped shape our internal belief system, which is often irrational and quite unforgiving on a daily basis to how we think. As human beings, we have many thoughts. Some people say 70,000 and this amount thousands. I couldn't tell you how many because I'd have to measure every single human being, and I just haven't got the time to do that. Maybe I do now, but I don't have the time have the time to measure that. Nobody really does. But one thing that does actually happen, which is absolutely real, with all the thoughts that we do have, the majority of the thoughts that we do have, most of them are negative about ourselves. Yeah, I'm a psychotherapist, and I can sit here and say I have experienced negative thoughts about myself. I use the 3 principles based in REBT to recognize when I'm having an irrational thought, and we pull them apart with the evidence, the logic, and the benefit of the thought as well. We recognize that this is linked to our core belief, our irrational belief, and this is how we feel about ourselves. So the majority of us already have negative thoughts. I would say all of us, but that would be quite unfair. I mean, there's one person I know for sure doesn't have a negative thought about themselves. Donald is amazing. Mr. Trump himself. He just cannot compute that. It's actually amazing how his internal appraisal system is all actually about appraising himself in the positive sense, no matter what it is. And we do have people like that as more of a narcissist. I could probably discuss narcissists and explain how that works in this particular case, and how a narcissist appraises their own behaviour. Yeah, so we can look on the flip side of this as the majority of people who don't have a personality disorder, who are not narcissistic, are travelling this earth right now, walking around experiencing life from a very negative internal point of view about themselves. A narcissist does something else, but that is a whole different video, not for this moment in time. So that was me explaining how we interpret situations and how our internal appraisal system works, often against us and against our needs, and that is what can cause us upset and trigger us into behaviours which are not beneficial for us. So I will attach the REBT ABC video so you can understand how that works for you. So if I have been working with you about appraisal systems, this supports you to recognise how it actually works. So you can work out your own appraisal system. See how you interpret events. And this is how you do it. 1, you isolate an event. Let's see whatever it is that's happening at this particular moment. It could be COVID-19, for example, right? And the event could be that, you know, you're walking down the road and somebody across the road coughs. And somebody walking past you has coughed. And as they've coughed, you've walked past them. That's the event. Your internal appraisal system may be like, oh, so they've coughed and now I've caught COVID-19. So now I've caught COVID-19. That person did it to me on purpose. Then the behaviour can be to go home and, you know, really overwash yourself and clean yourself. And your emotions and your bodily sensations could be to panic, maybe even start feeling some of the symptoms of COVID-19 because you believe that you have it, and become really anxious and stressed about what's going on. And that could be linked to an experience where you have caught things and got sick before in the past, and you're so prone, you feel that you're prone to being ill, and your belief system may be something that sounds a little bit like I must not get ill, because if I get ill I will die, and that would be absolutely terrible, and I've got to control everything. That could be it, and we have to pull that apart. And you're saying to me, well, how do you pull that apart? I could show you, but I'm not in this video. It's recognizing why you think what you think. It may not actually be what you think it is. It may just be what you think it is. It may not be what you think it is, but it might just be what you think it is, because it's not what you think it is. Does that make any sense? Okay, I'm going to go right now. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, and send me any questions that you want to ask. If you're finding that you have a high level of anxiety and you want to find out how to deal with that, I'm going to put the link in the box below, and you can hit me up and find out about your anxiety. You can fill in the questionnaire, you can find it for yourself. If you want to chat to me, you can. Absolutely open to that. So I'm going to end this. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Desiree Shaw. I'm a psychotherapist. I vlog and I podcast. I practice at the Priory and privately, and I have a keen interest in self-development and people and making change happen, because I'm on a mission to change the world one thought at a time, because all it takes is a thought. Thank you. Bye for now.